god! So I guess this is the start of my first YouTube video, which I'm not on YouTube usually. I have a YouTube channel. There's literally one reel posted. My bad. Uh, but I am the artist Allie on TikTok mostly. That's my TikTok handle, and this should be the handle here too. Um, so yeah. Hi guys. Um, I will be making today for my first YouTube video, which crazy, in my opinion. I always dreamed of being on YouTube, but look at me now. I'm going to be making my Bill Cipher purse for a Bill Cipher cosplay. I'm going to a con. With I don't know if I want it to be a competition piece yet. I'm still figuring that out. So yeah, I've already started some of the prep work because I was struggling to figure it out. But it is this old Twilight book purse I got as a gift from one of my old friends. And I don't like Twilight. Never seen it. I can hear the comments now. So yeah. There was engravement on the front. So I tried to flatten it as much as possible, but you can see there's still a lot of texture. So my plan is to get down a background sketch, and then I'm going to bedazzle it. The inspiration for this purse is going to be the Book of Bill, which came out fairly recently in August of 2024. So yeah, you can see it was an old Twilight purse. So this is going to be the front, and we'll get into it. So yeah, I'm hoping I can build my platform like I have on TikTok, and hopefully this is something you're interested in seeing, guys. If you are, give me a follow, subscribe, a like, and you know. So yeah, I will get to work. Bye. So, basically what I did is I used my iPad, which I'm now recording on, and I made a sketch of the pieces of the book I wanted, and then I marked what needed to be yellow and what needed to be black and gray. These are gray. Hold on, let me look at it. Remember, always look at your references, kids. And what I'm basically gonna do is cover this part in graphite and trace. So this needs to be, I'm gonna do this gray, these black, and then this black. Okay, so, and then a Y is where I'm going to put the yellow crystals and the yellow paint, and then the B's are black and the G's are gray. Pretty self-explanatory. What am I looking for? Scissors. That's what I'm looking for. The way I traced it, I did it weird. So what I'm going to do is cut it out so I can place it where I want. I need scissors. Aren't my sewing scissors? Wherever I put those. Give me 1 second. I had a pair just a few minutes ago. It seems like when you're recording, you just lose everything. Everything you needed and had set up. You just lose. Creak of the floor. Scissors, scissors, scissors. Oh, there they are. Found them. So you're going to take your scissors, and what I'm going to do... Oh, first I'm going to graphite the back. Sorry. Get my steps mixed up. So, and when I'm ready, all I do is I take the design, and trace that up. Sorry, the camera is shaking because the table is shaking. I really hope this does come out good, because I really don't know if I want this Bill cipher to be a competition piece. I don't know, because when, like, in cosplay competitions, there's a 70-30 rule, and you have to make at least 70% of your cosplay, and the 30% can be bought, because they can't. It's a craftsmanship competition, so they can't, like, judge you on something you didn't make. So I bought a tailcoat to go with it. I thrifted it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a whole bunch of stuff. I don't think that would count towards the 70-30 rule. I think they'll still see it as bought. I mean, so I don't know. I know when I make my Adam cosplay from Hazard Hotel, that's a competition piece. But I'm going to 2 conventions. So I usually just enter the cosplay competition for fun. Sorry, I'm looking for where I need a color. And then I usually do it for fun, but I do like entering competitions to meet new people and see their cosplays. Last year, I entered as Kane from the Amazing Digital Circus. The year before, I entered as Glamrock Freddy, and then that was like my first competition as Glamrock Freddy. So I've been doing competitions for what, going on now, since this year would be 3 years? Oh my god, it's been 3 years. I have been cosplaying for 3 whole years. No, technically it's longer, but I don't count those cosplays. My first cosplay I considered a cosplay was my Glamrock Freddy. Oh my god, it's been 3 years. Oh, but yeah, that was like my Glamrock Freddy was made. Hold on, I'll put a picture on screen when I'm editing. But it was made out of a curtain, and I airbrushed orange onto the skirt. Oh my god, that was so long ago. Sorry, I'm gonna start thinking about that. But yeah, that was so long ago. I went as Glamrock Freddy, and then last year, excuse me, I went as Kane, and Aziraphale, but I didn't enter a competition as Kane. So, I mean, honestly, cosplay is just for fun. Did I get it all? Sorry, I'm holding up to the light. Just about. This is like an old artist method. I used to do this with my canvases when I still painted. I still do paint occasionally, but not much. Well, yeah, I did. Okay, so bump, bump, then cut it out. I wonder if you can hear this through the mic. Honestly, guys, you can tell I'm not a professional YouTuber. Like, at all. Not at all, my friends. This is the lock. I'm not going to do the edge pieces that on the book. Here, I'll show you. Because I'm doing the yellow version, but this is the one that came up. So I'm not doing these pieces. Because I feel like that's going to be annoying to bedazzle. And honestly, I don't like how they look. Here's the lock. And you usually cut it out so you can get a better look at your placement. That's what I do, at least. I can hear all the sewists screaming about the detail scissors that I'm using to cut these out. Don't worry, guys. I use these scissors for paper only. Okay, do I want to? Yeah. Womp, 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 womp. Bam, bada boom. There's Bill. There's the logo. I'll probably cut the individuals' letters off camera. But yeah, I don't know how I'm going to bejewel the letters because these are really small. I might upsize them. And guys, remember, recycle your scraps. Recycle them. The planet needs your help. Okay. I wonder if y'all can hear my floor creaking. I'll find out in a bit. But then I might do another coat on the purse. Don't know. Probably will. Because I still need to paint the back, and then the edges need to be done. I'm honestly doing it just so you can't... Oh, Lord, that's loud. So you just can't see the, like, in between the gemstones. So I got several packs of gemstones to do this. And honestly, I think I'm going to use these, and these for the background and, like, go in between. And I don't know which yellow. It's more, orangey yellow. I don't know. Or I could do gold. Ooh, that would be pretty. That would be pretty. Sorry, I don't know if you can see too well. And then I have these. Ooh, I could do either of these yellows. Or probably should open these so you can actually see. Ooh, beauty. So I thought about doing these. Can you see? Womp. But we will see. Let me finish the base. I'll probably paint the whole purse just to see if it turns out well. And the back, and then in the inside. Oh, I forgot to mention this. Okay, so my plan for the inside is I'm going to paint it like his summoning page. Hold on. I will show y'all. But his summoning page, I was thinking I could like hand out something. Like I want to get stickers of Bill and maybe hand them out when they like if someone puts their hand on it and does the rules. I thought that would be cool. Bill's summoning page. I should probably have this all stuff pulled up before. But here's the summoning page. I want to do it like this. I don't know if I'll do it on this side. I might just put the handprint. Because this is a small area. Oh, you can't see. Because this is a small area. I don't know yet. I'll figure it out. Or I might just put the signing. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I always do. But let me do a third coat and I will see you guys in a minute. Anyways, we have an above little shot of me sketching out. This is where I literally just press hard onto the graphite covered front of the paper kind of thing. It's an old tracing technique that I use. And then I went over that with marker just so it was easier to see on the black and I didn't have to keep looking for the shiniest of the graphite. And then I started mixing little colors for the background of the rhinestones just so you wouldn't see the black showing through the yellow. And honestly, I mean, it wasn't hard until it was just a lot of mixing. And this is sped up because it was like 2 hours long. If I would have kept it at normal pace and just talked over that. But honestly, me starting the rhinestones at the bottom, I ended up scrapping that. So these clips are just me doing work that had no need. But honestly, this whole project has made me really happy. And with the outcome, I'm super proud of it. You see me, I was going to do black rhinestones all around the front, just for the background. I ended up hating it. And I say this later on in the video, but, yeah, look at me, hard at work, just, unknowing. But yeah, I ended up using B7000, which is, angle change. Another angle change, crazy. But, I ended up using B7000. It just came with the rhinestones. I didn't have any E6000. Yeah, it's E6000. But I ended up getting the lock done, and then the bottom portion until I decided I hated it. Like, absolutely. And then I got about half a bill done before I took it all apart and just said, screw it. Uh, Honestly, I ended up loving the the simpleness of it. I can't talk today. But, yeah. Okay, so honestly, this is what we have so far. There was a bottom part here, but off camera, I kind of crashed out and tore it off because I hated it, and then I tore off the lock piece because I also hated it, and it made it look crowded. So I painted that over with some black leather paint. And honestly, I like this better than what I had and where I was going with it. And also, I will crash out because I did all that work for nothing, but that's the life of someone who does anything creative. um, so yeah, I like this so far, honestly. It's simple, it's cute. I'm still running through my head of what else I can do. I like the texture of the background. It just makes it look old. Um, Honestly, I like this so far. I do plan on putting some of like I don't know what the font's called. Anyone who watches Gravity Falls and is like into it is gonna have my head, but I want to put some of the font on the edge on like the spine because this is a book purse. And then here's the back. It's textured from when I was originally gonna do it, but I mean I think it's fine. Um, and the inside's still the same. So I can't bedazzle the inside or the purse will not close properly. But honestly, I'm in love with this. It's cute. It's simple. I think there's going to be so much going on with the sketch part of my costume that this doesn't need to be as extravagant as I originally thought. But yeah. Oh yeah, y'all don't know the sketch. Y'all will see that later cuz I'm not going to spoil anything. But I think I'm going to continue working. I'm going to do the spine and then the inside. Um, I do, and oh, also on the edges, I'm going to paint a darker tan color and put some like really abstract book pages. Sorry, there's something on here. Abstract book pages on there, but that's gonna come later. But yeah, so far I'm actually really happy with this. I'm still kind of crying inside the fact that I did all that work down here. It's taken me 2 days, and I just ripped it all off in like 5 minutes. And that's the life of someone who does art. I used about a whole tube of this glue. Honestly, I don't know how good it is. This glue. Don't know how good it is, honestly. Okay. Why won't you close? Oh, there we go. But I don't know how good it is, honestly. It just came with the rhinestones. I didn't have any E6000. There we go. E6000. But I used all the yellow crystals I had on Bill. Honestly, I'm in love with it, and I love the feeling of it. Like, I'm gonna be on the convention, just like standing in line waiting for something, just gonna be like, I like the feeling of the rhinestones. Um, but yeah, I don't know if I'm going to track anything else into this design besides the spine, the inside, and the outer layers to make it look more like a book. I might do something with the handle. I don't know. I might put Bill Cipher on there. I don't in rhinestones. But I think that's it for the front. I know the paint. I use this one because this technically is a leather purse, but it's good for fabric, and I like this paint. It's very thin though, so I'd watch out for that. Where did my glue go? Oh yeah. But yeah, I did a lot of this off camera. I'm not even gonna lie because I kind of forgot that my iPad was running out of storage and it kind of crashed out. Um, so hopefully I got some good shots. But yeah, I like it. It's really shiny. If I have my phone, I can put the flashlight and show off some of the shine. I'm tempted to I'm not re-editing this, guys. So I'm tempted to put some glitter on it. Some gold glitter. If I can find if I have any. But yeah. So we'll see what happens after this dries. Spine of the book, I ended up doing these little lines instead of writing his name in ciphers. I just liked it better. I felt it was more polished. This isn't a one-for-one recreation of the Book of Bill. It's more of what I just thought looked best with what went with my sketch. I kind of made it up as I went, depending on how much I liked it and how much I didn't. But you see in the on the edges, I took a pencil and I measured out to make sure the triangles on each side was even. Honestly, I just did the two little lines and I was pretty happy with it on the spine of like the book part of the purse. I like my purses to match with my cosplays. It's just, I feel like it makes them look more complete with my outfit when I go to conventions. I don't, like last year, I didn't have a purse that matched when I went to Queen City Anime Convention. I was dressed as Kane. So I carried around a My Hero book purse, or not like a book purse, but one of the bags that have the windows with the pins. And I just felt like it would have looked better if I had a purse that went with it. But this is honestly one of my favorite projects. I feel like it was the best use for the purse. Since I don't like Twilight too much. I've never really seen it. But, and you see me trying to get the lines as straight as possible with like little tweezers. So what I would do is how I would pick up the gemstones. I would take the tweezers and then I would dip them in an itty bitty bit amount of glue and use it to pick up the gemstones and put it in there. Since the glue would already most likely be placed. So it was just easier that way. I was originally using like a little wax pencil that came with it. And it got wax everywhere and the wax was in the glue and I hated it. But yeah, and then you see me about to mix up the inside since I've finished the outside. You can see that the gemstones are taken off at the bottom. But yeah, I'm mixing up the color for the inside, and I did some prep work off camera where I painted the inside. So I was just making it more opaque so you don't see the wording that was there. And then I painted the edges just for a base coat. I ended up having to go over it like 6 or 7 times for the edges. And I used leather paint for this. I used Angelus leather paint. I think I'm saying that correct. I say it later in the video. And then I mixed up the wrong color and it didn't match. Honestly, I think this first color was perfect. But I ended up not being able to recreate it. And I was so sad. But I got somewhere enough close, so I ended up just painting over what I had already had. And then I went carefully over where the chain of the purse connects to the edges of the book. And then I do the hand. I wanted to do the hand before anything else, just in case I got it wrong, because I had already mixed up paint for the other side. So I just traced a little triangle on my hand and painted the rest of my hand with the red paint. I ended up having to go in and detail the triangle more because it ended up not being as clear as I wanted it. Honestly, I should have expected that, but it ended up pretty good. Like, I ended up loving how I did it. It might not be a one-for-one recreation of the inside of the Book of Bill, the summoning page, but I love it. I just fell in love with this design. But yeah, I ended up having to go over that 3 or 4 times with the red paint on the hand part. On the hand part. And then after that dried, I just went in with a darker red that I mixed with a little bit of black, and I painted the triangle. You can see me having to like touch up the different parts of the hand. I ended up after this not being able to get out of my room. But yeah, to like go wash my hands. But then you see me painting the other side, and then I went deep inside the purse. At least not like fully inside. I went until the leather part stopped and it like went inside the purse. I think it's the best way I can explain it. But I ended up painting that a few times. Now, I did have a worry. I worried about the magnets that keep the purse closed. I feel like that was going to take off away some paint after it was dry, and just opening and closing the purse, it just felt a little scary. So hopefully, it's been about a month since I've like finished this purse, and it's held up pretty well. This is really, like, the paint I used for it was some really good paint. Honestly, would recommend. But yeah. Honestly, after this, I let this dry, went over it a few more times with the same color, or at least as close I could get to the original time I painted it. And then what I did is I used a splattering method, as you see. So you wet your brush with paint, and dilute it a little bit, and then you take your finger and you flick it. And then I did it with a little more watery paint. I painted my hand again, and I went over it and pressed my paintbrush with that diluted paint with water, so it would drip easily. And then I let that dry for a bit, just to see how it would look. And then I kept splattering it. I splattered it standing up on both sides, just because I didn't want to get it like everywhere. I ended up happening anyway. Then I started to end up doing some like thicker dots, and then I cleaned that up with my apron. And then I finally found a rag to clean it up. But yeah, I did some thicker splatters just to make it look more messy, more gory. I ended up really loving this. It turned out so well, and it gave it an old look. And then I ended up drinking paint. But it ended up giving it a really old, rustic look, and I just fell in love with it. And here's where I start to panic, because I realized I would have to paint the letters. Now, freehanding letters is not fun, so I googled a font after I picked my YouTube video that I was going to listen to. And then I fixed the triangle on the inside. I tried to sketch it out with a thick pencil first, and then erased it just to see how even I could get it, which it worked pretty well. And then I ended up messing up the eye part. So I ended up taking some water, flicked it on, and erased the eye part, which wasn't bad. Yeah, and then I just took my finger and wiped it off. I ended up liking the way I did it better the second time. It just looked more like the photo. I liked it a lot better, and the darker paint, it stands out really well against the brighter of the red. And then I just splattered some more splatters to make it look more messy after the old splatters had dried. But yeah, and then here's the letters. Now, I struggled with these letters to keep them as straight as possible. I think I did the best I could. And the font I used for most of the letters was a Times New Roman, which I just think that's a little funny fact. I based it off Times New Roman, and honestly, the lettering's not straight. I was worried about having to fit everything. It was just, this part was the most stressful part, honestly. But I was worried about fitting everything. I'm really glad everything fit. But I ended up getting everything on there, so I feel like it went pretty well. And then I just freehand the messy letters of your name here to summon, and then the time to get weird with the quotation marks. Honestly, I felt I did pretty well, but I'm going to go ahead and stop yapping, and I'm going to probably put on some music at the rest of these clips. But yeah, I really hoped you enjoyed watching this.
This never happened before, though I have prayed for a lifetime that such as you would suddenly be mine, mine to hold as I'm holding you now, and ever so near. Mine to have when the now and the here disappear. What matters, dear?
Okay, anyways, so I continued to do the lettering. I hope that you enjoyed the music. I just felt like it fit Bill Cipher. But then I continued the lettering and let that dry until I continued. Honestly, I just Googled a picture of Bill Cipher's summoning page, and I based this whole inside off of that. My original idea was to keep little Bill Cipher stickers in my purse and open my purse to have people summon Bill when I'm at the convention. So I would have them put their hand in, do the little ritual. I wouldn't have people, like, sign it or anything. I would just have people, like, do the, it's time to get weird, or the place your hand on the right page, clear your mind, and repeat the words, time to get weird. And then I would give them a little Bill sticker. I don't know if that'll actually happen. I thought it was a little cute, funny idea. Hopefully it will happen. But yeah, I just thought it was cute. Honestly, this is going to be one of my competition pieces. I don't know if I'll submit this one to GalaxyCon, my Bill Cipher cosplay, whenever that happens, for that competition, or if I'm going to save it for Queen City. Also, I might be going to Dragon Con this year. That's an iffy one, because it's right at the end of August. But it's a maybe. But yeah, this will be probably one of my main competition pieces for this year. This and another cosplay I have planned, which you'll find out very soon. I'm already in the planning stages. Yeah, but I'm really excited for this. And honestly, I can't wait. Hopefully, if anyone recreates their own Bill Cipher purse, I get to see that. That would be really cool if people recreated their Bill Cipher purse. Like their very own one. That'd be really cool. But yeah, then after I finished doing like all the lettering and stuff, I let that dry for a bit. Oh yeah, and I messed up the 2. I couldn't figure out how to do it. But I just took a Q-tip and some water, wiped it away. It usually works if the paint's still wet. It's an old acrylic paint trick I learned from when I was painting. I used like canvas and stuff in my old videos. But yeah, I ended up finishing this, and then I let that sit for a few days before I finished the edges. But I don't think I record that. But yeah, I think this is where my voiceovers will stop. I really hoped you enjoyed. That's how I made my Bill Cipher, or the Book of Bill inspired purse. Honestly, I fell in love with this purse. It is my favorite purse. I don't carry it around because convention season has started, but the convention I'm taking to is still a little way off, and I do not want it to get messed up. Since it is going to be a competition piece. But honestly, I love how it came out. The background looks worn and old. I did the edges in black and the tan. I adore it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully, you can subscribe and click that like button. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing, stunning day. Bye! Bye!